Hello and welcome to this year-end special edition of the AI Report. Now, if you've been following the AI Report on News 9 over the last few months, you will have noticed that week after week we've brought you trend-spotting stories in the world of artificial intelligence. And as we come to the end of 2025, and boy, what a remarkable year that's been for artificial intelligence, we thought, let's do something different. And in fact, let's try and decode this trend which has gone viral in 2025, where it's not just musicians who are using artificial intelligence to produce music tracks. It's also non-musicians who are taking on to the world of AI and becoming artists in their own right. Well, if you haven't really been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure you would have grooved to the tune of Saiyaara in the voice of Kishore Kumar, right? And I'm sure you would have also, in those parties that you would have gone to, heard Yo-Yo Honey sing tracks in the voice of Gurdas Maan. Well, today I have the honor of being joined by two stellar musicians. In fact, this duo is the force behind Shor Police, and of course you know them because they are the ones who've used a little bit of AI and a lot of creativity to also remaster Sholay that got re-released just a few days back, and of course that trailer was composed completely by AI. So let's understand today from none other than Bianca, Gomes and Clinton Cerejo, who join us right here on News 9 to understand what this trend of using artificial intelligence for music is all about and where it is headed from here as we knock on the doors of 2026. Well, Bianca and Clinton, thank you so much for joining us on this year-end edition of the AI Report. First off, Bianca, if I can begin by asking you, creativity has now only been limited to your imagination. Well, in the case of music, that potentially always was the case, but with the advent of artificial intelligence, walk me through your journey of working on that masterpiece called Sholay and your experience of using AI.
It was a wonderful journey for us, and we were really, really honored to be able to be part of this, of the final cut. Of course, considering there were bits of AI, I think it was still a huge privilege for us musically to be able to incorporate our style, which is very modern and very progressive, to merge it with an old world theme like Sholay, which is just iconic and so nostalgic for every single desi in the world. So for us, it was on a musical level, it was really special. All right,
so Clinton, why don't you spill some beans and tell us what are the tools that you used? What is the kind of experimenting that went into that final cut?
Yes, so most people don't know that the main theme of Sholay, which happens in the second half of the trailer, which uses a solo trumpet. That solo trumpet was AI actually. It was you would normally have to call a live trumpet player, and we used a software. We used an AI software called SonarWorks, which lets you actually sing out the lines, and then when you sing the melody, it really converts it with all the breath of your singing. So it takes the breath of your singing and makes that into what a trumpet player, how a trumpet player would breathe. And then you get a very, very authentically played trumpet solo. So the actual theme was us just singing into a mic and then converting that with the help of AI to actually calling a solo trumpet player to actually play the theme. And we wanted to do it like that because we're trying to find new ways to integrate AI into our workflow. Yeah. It's not that we, obviously, we would love to have called a real trumpet player and everything, but the whole challenge, I think, at this stage right now, is which every musician is trying to do, is trying to see where the future is, and how do we fit in to what AI is going to bring to the table anyway,
that choice between using human beings or using a machine. where do you draw that line that, hey, this is a track where I want to use a real trumpet player, and this is where I want to give that real trumpet player a break and go for the machine?
It's a very ethical question sometimes, and I think that right now, even if you're a live musician, it's really important that you figure out how you can use AI, because as all the tech gurus have said that it probably, I think it was Jensen from Nvidia who said, Jensen Wang who said it won't be AI that takes your job, it will be someone who uses AI that will take your job.
Right.
So,
no, but just to put that in perspective, is that Bianca, in your opinion, is that a fair comparison? Because you would not have logically taken the trumpet player's job, just sticking to that example, right? But it's not it's not a trumpet player who's using AI to play better trumpet who's taking that job. It's a music composer who's deciding not to use a human being. So one, of course, is the ethical dilemma, which may not be, there might not be any obvious answers for that. But at the end of the day, this is a major shift in the industry, isn't it? Where a lot of musicians will find perhaps, their skill and their talent not being deployed.
I think to some extent, musicians can figure out when they are listening to an AI track.
I'm not sure if there are giveaways, Bianca, because, I started off by giving that example. And just a few months back, I was hooked on to the Saiyaara version sung in the voice of Kishore Da. And for the longest time, I believed that, hey, maybe the real Saiyaara song was actually a remake of the original Kishore Kumar Saiyaara song.
Oh my God. Yes, it is. It is a scary time, I have to say, for musicians, for creativity. It is scary.
Yeah. So
I think you can either be left behind, or you can choose to like embrace it.
There would be enough and more amateurs out there who potentially just using these tools could give you guys a run for your money, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we're already seeing it with, I think, advertising. They're starting to use tracks that are produced by AI. Filmmakers are going through their own struggles. Voiceovers. Yeah. I mean, every area of the industry is suffering in some way already. So it is a scary time. I don't know what's in store for us, actually.
What I want to pivot to now is this entire sort of infringement of copyright issue. And that is something which is absolutely big right now, not just in Hollywood, but as we're seeing even in the world of music. So there might be creators who've fed these engines with voice samples and asked those engines to take inspiration from music composers. But at the end of the day, the issue of copyright is real. And there are enough and more cases already filed in courts around the world where artists want their craft to be protected by copyright. How does that story pan out in 2026?
Yeah, it's a very gray area, to be honest, because I think that very, very frankly, like if you look at the amount, like let's take Arijit for example. Okay, now Arijit is such an amazing singer, and now there's so many what I would say, I would call Arijit clones in the industry. There's so many guys who have modeled their whole singing style on Arijit himself. So now, if for example, if I want to get an Arijit sound, then what I might do is I might get one of his clones, for example. Like I might get somebody else who sounds exactly like Arijit, and I might use his voice as the training model to train the AI. And I can then very clearly say that I haven't used Arijit to train my AI model. I've used somebody else, and he's given me all his rights. So it becomes a very gray area, very frankly.
Within the industry, are people recognizing that that AI at the end of the day is at best only going to learn from something that exists and tailor the next track on something which exists in the universe as opposed to original creativity? Exactly.
I think, and therein will the people that want to do this or go in this direction have an issue, and it will not be successful for them, because if they want something tailored to their liking, if there's a scene that they want scored and they want things changed in a specific way based on that scene, that's where there's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know
And
how they're going to get around that, but good luck to them.
come AGI, originality, the challenge of originality could then turn into an opportunity for originality using machines, isn't it, Clinton?
Yes, absolutely. I think that also, see, how often has it been these days that when we do a jingle or a corporate track, we get a reference that's already been created with AI.
Yes, we had that once.
Yes,
Yeah.
where they've used the exact words that they want.
Yeah.
They've got the right emotion that they want, but yet what happens is they feel like they can't edit it, like exactly what Bianca said, to Bianca's point.
Yeah.
When they need to have very specific edits that need to be made, then the AI can't do that.
Yeah.
So they need a human for that. So if a human needs to intervene anyway, then you may as well come to us to begin with. It's like that.
Yeah. And with
Right.
advertising, there are 150 changes till the
Yeah.
final thing gets locked. So, I mean, you're going to have to go through that. Edits are constantly changing.
Right.
And with that, the music changes. So a director will be sitting with you in the room and making changes on the fly. Oh, you know what? I'm suddenly seeing this differently. I want this to happen when this happens. So how are you going to do that?
Well, I'm sure there are going to be
That's why I said good luck to them.
Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be smart options that emerge as we walk into 2026. But as of today, what has been the biggest disruption? Is it lyrics? Is it voice? Is it instrumentation? Is it mastering? Is it cleaning up, the noises? What has been, in your experience so far, the biggest disruption in this entire journey, which has so many beautiful facets of art pulled in? Which one of these has been disrupted the most so far?
All of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. Because everything, actually, like for example, lyricists keep saying that, now ChatGPT is just writing lyrics that is so good in Hindi. Abhi Hindi mein bhi they're starting, ChatGPT is starting to write Hindi lyrics. So, now earlier it was only English lyrics. Now ChatGPT is starting to write Hindi lyrics also. So it's just from last year to this year in everything. Like in mastering, now there are AI mastering plugins, where the AI is analyzing everything, analyzing the track in a very specific way, and then coming out with a better result than most mastering engineers, except for the very top cream of the crop, can generate. So there's everything, and we're going to see more and more of it. Unfortunately, I think that this was always there from the last 10 years. Even music software has been constantly been dumbed down, where the barrier to entry is just any kid with a laptop. Earlier when I started my career, being a music producer was so hard. It was just so hard because even to buy a first sequencer, something that you could actually work on, would cost more than 1 lakh of rupees at that point. Now imagine 20 years ago, what was a lakh? It was like 10 lakh rupees. Now which kid has 10 lakh rupees today to be able to just start your journey? Back then I had to take a bank loan just to start my journey. So nowadays it's just every kid with a laptop can call himself a music producer. So that has been happening for a while, and it's only going to get easier and easier. So then there's going to be very little. Finally, what happens is, what separates the men from the boys is your own personality. It's your own. What can you bring as an artist that no one else can bring? That will be the only defining factor, I think.
And the machine is getting better at what it does with every prompt that you feed it. It is learning from the previous commands and everybody else in the universe who's using it. But, 2023 doesn't seem like too long ago. Just 2 years back, the first sort of instance of AI disrupting music industry is sort of, my experience watching this 10-minute clip followed by the song itself of Now and Then by the Beatles, a 1993 cassette recording found, if I'm not mistaken, by Paul McCartney's son, which has a synthesizer mixed into the vocal lyrics on a tape recorder. The tape reaches finally 30 years later a studio in London, which is at best just able to clean up the track. And lo and behold, you had a brand new Beatles song released called Now and Then in 2023. Within 2 years, the whole game has changed so drastically. But for all those musicians out there, aspiring musicians out there, and amateurs, I don't even know if I can call myself that, but amateurs like me out there, if there was one tool, or if there were 2 tools, 3 tools that one would benefit from by using and composing, producing music, what are your favorite tools when it comes to AI? Or is that sort of a secret you'd rather not give out because there's more competition out there?
No, I think it's just, I think we feel like we like to keep our methods, at least personally speaking, from when we sit, and we sit together in the studio and write. We don't tend to lean on AI to begin with, because we feel like that will make us dull, that will make us, that will lose our sharpness, and we have that, we are like, we feel like we are always on edge in terms of being able to call on our musical faculties, and do something in record time, because we are so sharp, we're used to doing it every day. So if the more we start leaning on AI, the less we'll want to reach in and do and soul search and actually use our own creativity.
Right, and where's the fun in that? There's absolutely no satisfaction.
Our artists, let's say, YouTube creators or not YouTube creators, music creators using YouTube as a platform, using an existing song. And let's go back to that example of Saiyaara in the voice of Kishore. Are these sort of new digital artists able to monetize it? Because the lyrics are not theirs. The voice is obviously, a legendary voice. There are copyright issues, and then there are strike notices which they're likely to get on YouTube because they don't own the copyright to the track. So why are they doing it if they're not making money? Or are they making money and as they get a strike, they're sort of exiting that feed and creating a slight modification and uploading it again?
I think everyone's busy searching, even including the music, even including the companies. Everyone's trying to search for what is the right way to do things. Like, that's why in fact, I think Universal, all the labels, they started by putting a lawsuit against Suno and all these copyright guys, and then now I think they are also coming out with their own versions of AI, like in partnership with the AI companies. I think there will be regulation no matter what, because end of the day, money talks.
To be, yeah.
All right, so regulation, light touch regulation, hot touch regulation, and is 2026 going to be the year where we will see some protection or potentially some impediments to digitization? Well, we will obviously keep a track for that for our viewers in 2025. But for today, Bianca, Gomes and Clinton Cerejo, thank you so much for your time. And what a fascinating conversation it's been right here with you on the AI Report.
Thank you so much for having us, Kartik.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And with that, we will slip into a very short break. But coming up on the other side, 2025, the biggest stories from the world of artificial intelligence. A quick recap, and 2026, what is likely to come and hit the world of artificial intelligence. All that and more. Keep watching the AI Report right here on News 9. Welcome back. You're still watching News 9. This is the AI Report, and it's the year-ender, a special that we're bringing to you for you to get a sense of what was the year 2025 when it came to the biggest news around AI too. What is likely to hit you as you enter 2026? Well, Amit Ranjan Kumar has all those beautiful, fascinating stories of the year gone by and potentially for the year to come in this next segment.
Has 2025 really been the year of inflection when it comes to advancements in artificial intelligence? It has definitely been an year when AI developments focused on deeper integration into our daily lives, be it via autonomous agents, enhanced multimodal capabilities with massive advancements in text, image and video processing, or reasoning for scientific breakthroughs. All of this came alongside an extremely competitive boom in open source models. Chinese disrupted with DeepSeek, Google with Nano Banana and XAI with Grok, Microsoft and OpenAI with ChatGPT 5.2, just to name a few. AI enhanced personalized healthcare on the one hand and robust cybersecurity defenses against AI threats on the other, more after the Chinese allegedly breached Anthropic's Claude. For consumers like you and me, there came more user-friendly tools to build customized AI. Sora came to us. all driven by better chips and cloud infrastructure. On the downside, AI has been responsible for close to 55,000 layoffs in US alone this year, according to consulting firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology has released a study this November, according to which AI can already do the job of 11.7% of US labor market, saving as much as $1.2 trillion in wages across finance, healthcare, and other professional services. That being an ongoing and developing concern with AI, let's take a look at the Magnificent Seven and some other drivers of AI, including China, this year gone by, one by one. Google. In 2025, Alphabet hit its first ever $100 billion quarter. That was the third quarter of the year. The growth drivers being cloud and search, fueled by generative AI products like Gemini. The Gemini app reached monthly users in excess of 650 million. Google invested big on AI infrastructure this year and reaffirmed its investors on its future spending plans, north of $75 billion in this space. This includes Google's $15 billion commitment to India by the year 2030 for building its first major artificial intelligence hub in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. Google is doing this in partnership with Adani Connex and Airtel. Google's other big bet, AI-powered self-driving car Waymo, expanded autonomous driving in new major cities across the world, Tokyo being a prime example. NVIDIA was able to consolidate its dominance in AI hardware, specifically the Blackwell architecture, and full-stack AI platforms, chips, systems, software. While it did not have any specific AI hardware launch this past year, it has been able to maintain its market share of over 90% in the GPU hardware space. NVIDIA's competition threat seems to have emerged from China in this year gone by. Zhang, who used to work for NVIDIA, is now shaking things up with his own company, Moore Threads. In the third week of December, Zhang unveiled the Huashan AI chip, built to rival NVIDIA's top models like Hopper and Blackwell. These chips are set for mass production in 2026 and can connect over 100,000 units together, making them a big deal for next-gen AI data centers. NVIDIA has responded to the Chinese threat rather little late in the day, some may opine, with the launch of a new family of open-source AI models called Nemotron. For NVIDIA, the opening up of the Chinese market towards the end of this year has been one of the biggest upsides of the year gone by. Meta. In 2025, Meta focused heavily on integrating AI across its ecosystem, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. This via advanced chatbots with better memory, real-time translation for over 100 languages and multimodal understanding, voice and vision instructional recognition and processing. Meta's big consumer product release came in the form of its next-gen Ray-Ban Meta glasses. These with improved audio, 3K video, and workout integration. In the first week of December, the company reportedly decided to make budget cuts of up to 30% of its metaverse initiative, an initiative that has accumulated losses of close to $70 billion over the last 4 years. Microsoft introduced the AI-ready Server 2025 packed with hybrid cloud environments. It also introduced Microsoft Build 2025, loaded with Copilot and multi-agent AI. With OpenAI, Microsoft brought to us GPT 5.2 and also advanced its image video tools, GPT Image 1.5 and Sora 2. It secured huge compute deals with AMD and NVIDIA particularly. In November, NVIDIA and Microsoft announced a partnership with Anthropic. Anthropic will buy $30 billion of cloud computing capacity from Microsoft and contract up to 1 gigawatt of additional capacity. In exchange, NVIDIA and Microsoft have agreed to invest up to $10 billion and $5 billion respectively in Anthropic. OpenAI also partnered with Disney for Sora. Now Sora has almost everything from Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars tables for users to play around with. Amazon's focus has been on agentic AI for personalized consumer experiences, automating business processes like contact centers and expanding AWS infrastructure. Here, it invested massively and even introduced new chips like Graviton 5. Amazon's aim has been towards billions of agents working alongside humans. Amazon's plans for billions of dollars worth of investments in data centers includes India in a big way. It has committed as much as $35 billion to India over the next 5 years. Elon Musk's XAI's focus in 2025 has been towards artificial general intelligence or AGI. It has secured huge fundings up to $30 billion worth, integrating Grok across Tesla and X. Musk has big plans of building a huge compute infrastructure, 100,000 GPUs for his supercomputers. Grok, XAI's chatbot, is being integrated into Tesla vehicles with new APIs for voice and real-time search. XAI, however, faced criticism in 2025 for heavy energy consumption from gas-fired generators, though permits were later granted. Now we come to Apple, accused by some experts of being somewhat of a laggard when it comes to innovations in AI. But despite this, Apple did have a busy 2025. It launched the powerful M4 MacBook Airs, upgraded iPads with M3 A16 chips, and unveiled the iPhone 17 series that included the iPhone Air, powered by the new iOS 26. Now those were the magnificent 7 of big tech and AI. Now let's come to the biggest outsider and challenger to the AI universe of Silicon Valley, California and Texas, all in the United States of America. The challenger named China. Chinese AI really seemed to take off in 2025, driven by huge amounts of government and private investments. Investments that are forecasted to exceed $170 billion if reports are to be believed. There was a very visible national push into embodied intelligence, read robotics, with new product launches like humanoid robots. These robots seemingly can also be seen dancing in rock concerts across China right now. While NVIDIA's H200 chips are scheduled to start shipments to China around mid-February 2026, Chinese companies continued their efforts towards indigenous chip design and manufacturing. They achieved a breakthrough with quantum photonic chips, which once scaled could change the entire chip and GPU landscape globally. It is quantum computing that seems to have the potential of being the differentiator for China against the West in the AI space in the times to come. Now India. Have a look at this graph. This is a study released by Stanford University's AI Vibrancy tool. It represents a measure of AI competitiveness across different metrics like research output and talent attraction in artificial intelligence. India ranks third when it comes to AI competitiveness and vibrancy. Says something about us while we are still playing catch up to the West in AI. What's to come in 2026? Google Glasses for one. And NVIDIA and SpaceX would be sending the first large data center into Earth's orbit in October next year as well. The quantum photonic chip, which could wipe out most of the huge carbon footprint GPUs have been accused of up until now. These chips could be expected coming not just from China, but also NVIDIA and Google. AI seems to be poised for a real big shift. Would 2026 be that year? We'll be watching and bringing you all the big developments right here.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of AI Report. Thank you so much for watching. And as we step into 2026, do stay tuned in to News 9.